and Wellness Expo 2024 was a success. Our goal was to educate, motivate, inspire, and transform kids in regard to social emotional skills. We had over 30 sponsors and vendors. Thank you, and thank you again. My team that volunteered and supported for 5 months, thank you as well. I am so grateful that you supported my dream. Thank you for the gifts and donations to the Jamal Gaines Foundation. The joy, smiles, and laughter on their little faces was the highlight of the day for me. We started the day with a dance performance by Maid Stars that tore the roof down. Thank you so much, ladies, for creating a dance for our anthem, I Am Amazing. We had a star-studded stage with performances by Tiger Martial Arts Academy, Steppers with Attitude Step Team, and the Rawway Antlers participated. Then we had over 20 activities inside and outside. Children are faced with rough emotions like anxiety, stress, and depression. They had an opportunity to learn how to manage their emotions by participating in the activities, which included things like the gaming truck, yoga, and breathwork. Special guests included Rawway's Mayor, Mr. Giacob, and Dan Bowens from Fox 5 News. We gave out our annual Molly Gaines Scholarship to Dominic Barry White, and I was so excited to receive a proclamation from the town of Rawway for my sunny boy, Jamal Gaines. You can watch more highlights, videos, and interviews on our YouTube channel, Molly Gaines Program.
Going to the moon! Riley can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip
What
planned
cute
for
little
us.
pictures. Do you remember this part of the show, Allison?
Ticklish, huh?
Yes.
Here comes the tickle
What are they? What's this part about?
Hey,
His rocket
Bing Bong,
is
look at
gone.
this.
He's a rock?
His
Here's
rocket.
a fun game. You point to the train station and
Is rocket a feeling?
go there. Won't that be fun?
No, his
Come on, let's
thing.
go to the train station.
That's Joy to the left, right?
I'm sorry they took your
Yep.
rocket.
And
They
who is
took something
Rocket?
that you
That's
loved.
Blue.
It's
No,
gone.
that's Sadness. It was his rocket. He had a
Sadness.
rocket
Don't
to
make
help
it feel
him.
worse.
And it's gone.
It's
A
all
rocket
you
to help him
left,
what?
Riley.
I bet
Get to
you
the
and Riley
moon.
had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful.
You're gonna have to
Why
tell
don't
us
we
what it
come
is.
back
Do you
and
hear
Riley
anything? Because
had
I don't hear
breakfast
anything.
Twice that day.
I hear it.
It sounds
Oh,
amazing.
I don't hear
bet
anything.
Riley liked it.
Oh, she did.
So you're gonna have to talk
We were
about it because I
best
have no
friends.
idea what to say. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the Stars Tina Show. We are here on this Wednesday to bring you healing kids, healing hearts. Allison, help me out here. You see, I'm a little stuck this morning.
We are here to talk about self-esteem on our Healing Little Minds show.
Yes, thank you, Mama. The Healing Little Heart Show. Little Hearts. Who are the little hearts? The little hearts are the children. I am Stars Tina, life and health coach, and we are here every single Wednesday at 7:30 to talk to the parents, moms, sisters, aunts, uncles, children, whomever wants to bring emotional intelligence to their children. This show was created and motivated and inspired by a book that I wrote called Traumedy No More for Kids. This is a book for children that teaches them how to understand exactly what they're feeling. And then once they know what they're feeling, then it teaches them how to express those feelings. And lastly, how to push through the uncomfortable pains by doing things like meditation, yoga, journaling, coloring. It doesn't matter. And every Wednesday we come here, we give you little tips and little bits to help you grow and teach your children. And this my amazing, wonderful co-host, Allie. Allie, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and hi,
Hello, my name is Allison Urban. I am a licensed clinical social worker and a registered play therapist in Bloomfield, New Jersey. I also have a podcast called The Playful Approach.
Thank you very much. So we like to start our show with a recap of an event that we did. So Alice, Allie, if you didn't know, today I'm actually going to a school to speak. I keep saying Alice and Allie, right? I gotta get it right. Because I'm so used to seeing Allison in my phone, and then I see Allie. But anyway,
I
today
know.
I am so grateful that I get to share and uplift some high schoolers. I did it last week with my daughter, and we're going to be talking about self-esteem and all that great stuff. And traumedy, if this is your first time tuning in, traumedy is a word that I coined, that I trademarked. And traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. Everyone gets it. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but we like to talk about it, but bring joy and happiness through it, right? So the first video that you saw when we popped on, that was our intro. That was a recap of an event that we did to empower the children. It was a back to school expo. And then the second video, I didn't see it, just letting you know, I just got clips, I didn't hear anything, was something from the movie Inside Out. I'm gonna throw it over to Allison so she can explain what that clip was and share it with us, Allison.
Well, in that clip, right, the character Bing Bong, who was her imaginary friend, lost his rocket. He was sad because he was gonna go with Riley on the rocket to take her to the moon, and they cleaned out and they put his rocket in the void, I think. I don't know where it is. It fell off the cliff. So he was sad because he couldn't use the rocket to take her to the moon. And obviously Joy didn't get it because she's Joy. And then Sadness was kind of like, hey, it's okay. And he cried his candy tears. And then he was like, all right, I'm okay now, right? I was sad. I had a space to be sad. And now I'm okay. Now let's figure it out. Let's get out of where they were.
I love that. And that just brings me to real life with children, right? They may be sad because they're in the supermarket with their parent and they want that toy. And they're crying and they're crying and then they're sad. And I like how you just said the child was like, okay, I'm sad. I didn't get what I want. Let's move through it. Do you have any advice that a parent can do if if their child is sad because maybe they couldn't go to the park or they couldn't get that chicken nuggets at McDonald's or whatever? What can a parent do? Should they tell the child to just be better, or what would you say?
No, don't tell them to be better. Just hold space for that emotion because whatever they're feeling is valid. And sometimes it's like we don't act on it. Like I said before we came on, I was like, right, I'm tired this morning. It's okay. I can be tired and hold space for that. And I'm like, all right, gotta shake it off, and then we'll wake up and get on the show and go about our Wednesday. I almost said our Tuesday. It is Wednesday.
I love it. Something that I do for adults, and it's wild because the way I coach children is just like adults, just a little more explanation, is I call it FFF, where it's pretty much, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found was this way, I'm giving the person a little more compassion. Would you say that's okay to talk to children like that when they're going through something?
Yeah, I think if that's what they ask for, like I think I work with kids a lot to kind of express, right? Do we need to be heard? Do we need to be hugged? Do we need to be helped? Or do we need space? And that empowers kids to tell adults, like, sometimes they just want to be heard, that they just want to be like, yeah, that sucks. Like, if they're sad about something, yeah, I can understand why that would make you sad. I would be sad too. Sometimes they want to be helped and they want us to find a solution. And then sometimes they just want a hug. And I work with parents to be like, even if it drives you crazy and you really want to fix the problem, whatever it is that they're going through, if they said they just want to be heard or hugged or given space, you gotta give it to them because they'll come to you when they're ready. But if you force them to, then they're not going to want to. Or if you try to fix their problem, they're going to be like, Mom, I'm just sad. Like, can't you just hear me? You just try to fix the problem.
So, Allie, we can end the show today, right now, with the nuggets that you just dropped, girlfriend.
Like, all right, bye.
Right? Like, hey, you got it. You got
See
it.
you later.
So I want you to say them again a little bit slower because I want to ingrain them in my head, right? And the way I remember things is by repetition. And maybe you can give another example. So parents, This right here is the solution. We can do this for adults too, right? So if you can say it
Right.
again, because that was power. You don't know how powerful that was, because I know I'm that parent. I want to fix every problem. If my child is sad, I want to make them happy. My child is hungry, I want to give them food. Maybe that's just the what a mother does. But if you can
It
say that
is.
again,
No, it is. It's as caregivers, it's what we do. And I think that it's remembering that first, I think making sure that it's something appropriate. Like I'll tell kids that they have a space to express their feelings with me. But I also still have as a therapist and a licensed professional with the state of New Jersey, I still have guidelines that I have to follow. I still have things, right, that your space is your space. But if you say certain things, I still have to tell mom and dad about it. Or do something about, again, like specific things, but that for the most part, if it's you had a bad day, it's whatever. I'll teach parents and kids, right? The three H's and then space, but I
okay, the three
haven't figured out a
H's. Here we
creative
go.
way to get it,
The
right?
three
That like, do
H's.
you want to be helped? Do you want to be heard? Do you want to be hugged? Or do you want to have space? I haven't figured out how to incorporate space into there yet. But it's helpful because it allows kids to have that responsibility of they're telling us what they need. That sometimes if they're telling us about a girl at school that was mean to them, as long as the girl at school isn't bullying them or putting hands on them, that I'm like, you got to give them whatever they ask for. If they don't want you to fix the problem, don't fix the problem. Because if you do, right, then that child isn't feeling heard by you. It's kind of like I'll tell parents that if we're friends, right, well, we're friends, but right, if you were like, oh my God, Allie, I got COVID, I'm not feeling too good. And I'm like, yeah, okay, hold on. And then I like go away for a second and I'm like, all right, Tina, I DoorDashed to you soup from the diner nearby, and Walgreens is delivering cough drops and medicine and Gatorade and this and that and this and all these things. And you're like, Allie, I just wanted you to be like, yeah, COVID is rough. I hope you're resting. But instead, you ordered all these things to my house and now I'm overwhelmed. That's how kids feel, that if we try to fix the problem for them, they almost feel like, are they really hearing me, or are they just trying to fix the problem, or are they just trying to do what they want? Versus if kids want a hug, I'll tell parents, bite your lip, give them a hug. If they're crying and they're like, mommy, I just want a hug, bite your lip and give them a hug. Because when you do that, you'll also probably find that they're going to come back and they're going to be like, actually, I want to be heard now, or mommy, I want you to help me now, like I'm ready to talk now. That sometimes just giving them what they ask for opens the door for them to trust us more because we're doing what they need instead of what we think that they need.
If that's dropping nuggets for you, write some information in the chat. Question, comment. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What happened? Are there some children who don't share what they want? They just kind of sit there? And if so, what do you do for that type of child?
Well, I teach them the same thing. I had one here somewhere, but I fold a paper into fours and we write on the fours and we kind of talk about like what does each of that look like? Like what does all of that look like to help them to be able to do that? And if they're not sure, I give them space to say, okay, well, when you're ready, you can let me know. That I won't ask you about it. Because sometimes parents will be like, oh, so at school today this happened, and if you could talk to them about it, I'd appreciate it. And I might be like, hey, mom told me about this thing that happened at school. So you can pick one of the four things, or you don't have to. That we don't have to talk about it. That if you want to, we can, but if you don't, we don't have to, because sometimes kids don't want to talk about it that week. They might want to talk about it the next week, or they want to talk about it but not quite yet, or in their own way. And if I'm like, well, mom told me this, so talk to me about it, tell me about it, they're going to be like, ugh, ugh. I don't know if this is my safe space anymore. Then I'm like, hey, so mom mentioned this. If you want to talk about it, we can. Don't have to, but you have your
I
four
love
things. You
that.
can
I
tell me
love
what you
that.
need.
I love that. We're going to get into our three tips, but you're just so good today, Allie. You're on fire. Talk about that safe space, because yesterday, I don't know what I was listening to, but they were talking about if you're in a community, and this could be home as well, right? If someone feels that they're safe, they will be vulnerable, they'll be authentic, and they'll open up. What are some ways that a parent can make a child feel as if they're in a safe space and they can share?
I mean, I guess I can tie it into our first tip for today, right? That self-worth beyond social media is, I think that for one, parents can help with their kids with kind of helping remind them that they're more than just what's on social media. They're more than just what we see on social media, that they have a safe space. And I think by following those things of not trying to fix your child and jump to assume what your child needs, like I tell parents all the time, your child is the expert in their own life and you need to trust them. Whether they are 5 or they're 15, they are the expert in their own life. They will tell me what they need me to know. They'll tell you what you need to know. And I think that in a general sense from that, right, that parents can help kids to understand that there's more than social media. Can social media be a safe space for kids? Absolutely. But can it also be hurtful? Also, absolutely. That it's just letting them know, right, you're more than that. And this can be like, well, I think that you're beautiful. This can be they're more than their grades at school. That if you're being hard on them for all A's, dial back a little bit because that pressure that you put on them can turn into anxiety, that they're more than a good grade at school. And I think that we sometimes learn through that we're more than a grade at school. I get that you want your kid to do well, but the more pressure you put on them to do well, the more anxious they feel and the more they might crumble and feel like they can't come to you.
Reflection. That's why I love that for tip number one. If you're watching this in the replays, write replays. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, do me a favor, go over there and subscribe. Let us know what you think about today's topic, self-worth beyond social media. I know for me, if I had a child now, I'd be like, well, actually, my kids were older. I was their friends on social media, right? I was their friends. I followed the friends. It's like, okay, who are you following? And it was fine, you know. But I know some people,
Right.
some parents don't even know what their kids are watching. So I would say with that tip right there, just reassuring them. And I know for the kids that I know, it's like they're looking at the other people and comparing, like their hair, their
Right.
makeup, their this, thinking they need to do all that sort of stuff. What would you say are some ways that we can empower young little girls, right, in regards to how they look at your face, if it's their weight or how they look? What are your thoughts?
Um, I mean, I think it's hard given social media, and I don't wanna I have things for the third tip, so I don't wanna, like, dive too deep into those yet, but I think helping them to know, like, what are things that make you special, because everyone has things that make them special, and I don't always talk about it with kids, but with parents more so, I'll talk about, like, we all know we have social media. We don't post like, "Oh my god, just got into a fight with my boyfriend this morning. He's such a jerk." No, we don't post that on social media. What I post on social media is a picture of us looking so cute and being like, "My best friend forever, love you." Like, duh. I don't post about like the bad stuff or like, "Ooh, just failed the math test." No, I'm gonna post a picture of me looking cute, right? Like on social media, we post what we want people to see. So sometimes working with kids in that, and I'll do different things like we'll draw a picture, and I might be like, okay, so let's draw a picture. And then I'll talk about the picture and be like, well, this is all I see, right? That's all we see on social media, that there could be more going on underneath the surface of that. But right, because I think that it's so true that all the time with celebrities, we'll see like, oh, so and so and so and so are getting a divorce, and then everyone that follows them on social media is like, what? They look so happy. Well, duh, because they're not gonna post, oh my God, we're fighting because they don't want kids and I want kids, or like they want this. And no, we don't post like, we just don't as society, we don't post that on social media. Duh, like
Allie, you
so
are on
working with
fire today, girl. Okay, I know your mama is proud today. Roll over to tip number two, girlfriend. You got this. You're on fire.
Tip number 2 is embracing mistakes and growth. And I think that as a therapist, I think that this is something that is really important to me because I think that we have to acknowledge that we all make mistakes and that we're not perfect people because it's part of who we are. And I know that you know, I could talk about different famous people that, had things happen, like that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. But I think for me, I like to talk about things like for me that really happened because then it's like I'm not just some person being like, oh, whatever. Like I'll tell teens that I work with that I'll like I'm working with one teen she's in college and she's having a hard time with this semester and it's really heavy. And I was like, all right, I know that it feels heavy. And I'm like, do you want to know a secret? And I was like, my freshman year of college, I was not in a good space mentally. And would you know that I finished my freshman year of college with a 2.7 GPA, and I wanted to drop out and I wanted to give up. And then that next semester, when I transferred schools to come closer to home, I passed a math class by probably like 3 points. Um, like I passed that class by the skin of my teeth. And I think that in that, right, that it's embracing those mistakes because I'll ask kids, like, does that make me any less of a therapist than I am right now? Does the fact that I had a 2 point, I think like a 2.75 GPA my freshman year of college make me any less than? Does it make me any different? Does it make me, and I'll ask them, I'll be like, does knowing that make me any less than a better therapist than I was 10 minutes before I told you that? No, because we make mistakes. But if I let that define me and I let that take me down, I wouldn't be here right now. And we talk about like, does my, I don't have it up on my wall, but like, does my master's degree say what my GPA was? No, because it doesn't matter. Does my license, my clinical social work license, say what my GPA was? See what score I got on the clinical exam? No, it doesn't because those things don't matter. Um, and that they're part of who we are. And I think that telling kids that too empowers them in a way because, like, obviously, I'm here, right? I have a master's degree. I'm here helping them. I've accomplished what I want to accomplish. And did I do it in a perfect way that I had imagined that I would? No. But I still graduated undergrad with, I think, like a 3.6 GPA. I graduated with honors. Like, did I have a perfect GPA? No. But I think being honest with kids about mistakes that we've made or things that we've done helps them to see, like, again, like kind of going back to that social media thing, that we're not perfect because kids could look at me and be like, well, she's a licensed clinical social worker, right? She's super smart. She got through all that. I barely got through the first 2 years of college. Like,
I love it. I love it. I just want to add one more thing to that before we go to tip number 3. When you were saying that, it made me think of movement, right? Like how the
yeah,
clouds are always moving, how the ocean is always moving. There's going to be
yeah.
highs, there's going to be lows. So I love that. You can roll all over to tip number 3. That was beautiful, bro. You're on fire today.
And I think last, positive self-talk. And I think that with this, I do a lot of work with parents around this. That I'll tell parents that I'm like, listen, I know that it is really hard, but our children, no matter how old they are sponges. Be mindful of what you say. Even if you think they don't hear you, they hear you. They know. If you put on a sweater and you think, ooh, the sweater makes me look fat, don't say it out loud. Because then your daughter is going to put something on and she's going to look in the mirror and she's going to be like, mm, this makes me look like mommy looked in that sweater. This makes me look fat. Or they might be like, um, I'm not hungry for breakfast, mommy, because I don't want to gain weight. And I think that we don't want to encourage these negative behaviors. And I think that they're natural for young girls to go through. But I think it's just being mindful about what we say and being able to incorporate those positive self-talk things that you don't have to say I'm the most beautiful person ever, but we can say things that don't have to do with our looks. I'm smart. I'm enough. Because I think that had I been raised in a different home, um, where there was so much pressure on grades. I remember I was so scared to tell my mom that I was failing this math class in college, my sophomore year of college, because I'm like, oh my God, I am like the star child, always got all A's, was like perfect in school. Like my brother needed a little help in school sometimes, but I was like, I was perfect. And I'm like, and I am failing this freaking math class. And I remember my mom was like, just pass the class. I don't even care what grade you get. Just pass the damn class. And I was like, all right, she's on my side, right? She said, just pass the class. We don't even care if I get an A. Like, I could get a D. I passed by, I kid you not, probably like 3 or 4 points. And when I got the grades, my mom and I were like, oh, we passed. Like, we were just past the point of like, who cares about all A's? Who cares about like a perfect GPA? We were like, oh my God, you passed it.
I love
And
it.
I
I
think
love it.
that having that support and have it not be about me, even when my freshman year of college, when my GPA was tanking, being able to be like, mom, I think that I need help. And I think that what I'm doing is not working. I'm not happy at school. I live there. I want to come home, help, that she was able to be like, okay, let's go to open houses at the schools nearby. I think I transferred to the school that I went to because I transferred to Kane. I think I got in there with a minimum GPA to transfer. And it just, I think not having that pressure from a parent of like, you should be doing better or you should be doing more, um, it helps. And I think being honest with our kids in appropriate ways, like my mom lost her job twice and now is killing it and is doing the best she can and like doing amazing. But I think for her to be able to say, like, hey, I'm doing the best I can, right? I got knocked down, but I'm going to pick myself back up has helped me and my brother to be like, hey, we can pick ourselves back up too. So I think that as parents, helping kids to see that their worth is more than their grades. Their worth is more than what they look like. It's more than their weight. It's more than social media. It's more than all of those things is so important because yeah, I didn't get the best grades in school, but I'm still good enough. And my mom helped me see I'm still good enough. I'm still worth support. I'm still worth trying. I'm still a good person. And having all of those beliefs helped me to be like, yeah, okay, my grades suck, but you know what? I'm still a good person. And now I'm like, I'm a good enough therapist. Do I
Yes.
do math? No. But I'm, but you know what?
Can
That's
you wrap
okay.
all the tips up for us as we close? All three of them? That was great, girl.
Of course. So I think it's remembering, and I think I kind of did that a little bit, but we're more than social media. We're more than our mistakes, that we can embrace those mistakes and grow. And we're more than anything else that we think, right? That embracing that positive self-talk because we're worth more than social media. We are worth more than our mistakes, and our mistakes are needed to grow. And that positive self-talk, you don't have to be the most beautiful person. We don't have to be Megan Fox beautiful, Victoria's Secret model beautiful to be good enough. That our value as we are is okay, and the people that care about us and love us will care about us and love us, whether we're failing our math class, passing by 2 points, whether we're the prettiest person in the world, because they see more than just what's on the outside. And I think that that's important.
I love it. I love it. We are so grateful that you guys are here today. We'll see you next week, same time, same station. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. Bye.